Andrei Terbea is a Romanian-born YouTuber who's amassed a grand total of over 1 million subscribers. But who is he really? Truth be told, when I first laid my eyes on his channel, I thought he was nothing more than a trend follower. But boy, was I wrong. Aside from the clickbaity titles and thumbnails, if you push past and look deeper into his content, you'll get blindsided by advice. Speaking of advice, this video was sponsored by Skillshare. But what is Skillshare? Well, if this is your first video with me, then, well, I'll let you know. Just be patient. Well, it's a great online learning community of over 25,000 classes in business, design, and more. And the first 500 people to use this link get 2 free wholehearted lip-smacking good months of Skillshare Premium to fuel your creativity in 2019. I say lip-smacking because they have many classes, like cooking. So if you're trying to impress that significant other that you don't have, well, now you can. With these 2 cool boys, you can think like a chef with Beginner's Guide to Cooking with Confidence. With an annual subscription of less than $10 a month, it's the most affordable in its class. Now, Skillshare didn't really teach me to make that pun, but it could have. Speaking of could have and like, Andrea could have had a personality.
He's somewhere in London. You can go out and find him in London. If you do what you want. I don't care.
Last time I was talking about how this boxing match brings legitimacy to the world of YouTube, but after seeing Deji's video and after seeing the aftermath of the press conference, what's happening now accomplishes the exact opposite.
I'm sorry for that clickbait right there, but he does have a personality that changed over time. When he first started his YouTube channel, he was a bit not confident.
I was too shy to record my voice in any of the videos, so having a big YouTube channel with a dedicated audience was a foreign concept to me. At that point, I felt more comfortable telling other people's stories, so I started experimenting with fan animations.
However, shortly after his plethora of H3 reanimated animated videos, he had a standard YouTube personality. So much so that he began making live action, reading your comment videos.
And by the way, I have such a great audience that 3 people jumped to my defense and started bashing this guy. I don't condone bullying and, arguments on the internet, but it does make me a little bit happy to see that my audience is, there for me when the situation arises. So
luckily, that didn't last. Mostly because I dislike his misuse of thumbnails to make you click on his comment videos. Now, this isn't really an exclusive comment to him or his content, but if you were going to watch all of his content, by this point you have assumed, hey, this video must be animated. But it wasn't.
welcome back to another episode of Read.
Of course, that was nearly 2 years ago, and he now seldomly does live action stuff. So if we were to pick a random video, there's a big chance it's either going to be a speed paint or actually an animated video. So that's pretty good. Aside from his own personality, he has an animal sidekick named Wilfer who likes to murder people and, of course, quack.
Wilfer, we need to get tickets to this fight because it's gonna be lit.
Shortly after his hiking trip and his sub count boost, he went from a goofy guy to a stoic goofy guy, with good reason. Mostly because he was able to achieve his dreams and overcome certain obstacles such as his color blindness.
Full-on animation shorts on DeviantArt, but it was always secondary to my goal of becoming a comic book artist, which eventually faded off. One of the reasons for that being that I was colorblind. Oops.
Andrea is colorblind, but that has not hindered his art style or workflow ethics. He has protanopia, which doesn't mean he sells propane and propane accessories. No, it means that his eyes are less sensitive to red light, so he sees mostly yellows and blues. And as I said before, it hasn't affected his art style. Using color theory and imagination, as he puts it, he uses a black and white color scheme and seldomly uses color, so when it is used, it's quite emphasized together. Sort of like how Beethoven liked pianos. Pac-Man eyes from the rubber hosey era of cartoons is a staple of his character design. Another staple is that he sometimes frequently uses real-life photos of people, and sometimes not. In terms of line quality, you can tell that he uses Flash, and because he says he uses Flash. And like I always do, I zoom in way too much and critique people from unclean line work. If only he had a cleanup artist to help him out. But with no such thing existing for an art style, I'll give him an overall 7.5 out of 10.
India getting cheaper, widespread access to the internet is good for YouTube. Now, obviously, that doesn't quite make for a catchy title, so I went for the shorter and more concise Why T-Series is good for YouTube, which, now that I think about it, not the best decision, because as soon as the video went up, everyone was like, TRAITOR!
Do you like paper? Well, Andrea does. Imagine instead of me switching to a real background, I just reuse the background that I'm physically in and just cut to that instead. Awful. To keep with the style, he could just switch the lines diagonally when it's not on him to give him a visually similar, yet different appearance, so when he cuts back and forth, you get a sense of space in his spaceless space. Or he could just use a different kind of texture when switching from his narrator parts and his item parts. And of course you'd say, just draw more backgrounds. But no. I mean, he's managed to produce content nearly every week, so it's fine to cut a corner here or there if he wants to keep that schedule. Well, as long as you don't notice. But I did. A fun drinking game you can do when you're watching his content is take a drink whenever he reuses assets. And boy howdy, does he reuse assets. However, this is a testament to the YouTube algorithm in terms of YouTube animators, as instead of producing all original quality content in each video, as Andrea is a slave to the rhythm. As with his content, he's required to reuse assets as he's well, he's not really a storytime animator since he doesn't talk about his life much. It's because he's an advice commentator animator. That's why he's a slave to the rhythm in terms of the YouTube algorithm. However, when he does have time, he does put the effort, as in some noteworthy situations he is capable of producing quality or all original content. Perhaps if he was able to hire another person to help him. You know how Jaden Animations and The Odd Ones Out have helpers? And I mean, it's pretty fascinating to see that he was actually able to create 2 separate videos within 4 days of each other. And there's a chance that before this video actually uploads, he actually might make another video.
I'm like Doctor Strange in that monastery before he got his powers, and he's the ancient bald chick. I'm like, teach me. And he's like, I said teach me, not punch the ghost out of me. Are you gonna put me back or...
Like dust in the wind, his merchandise is gone. Sort of. Back in November of 2018, he did have a limited supply of Wolfer plushies that he sold for 25 USD. You'd think that's outrageous, but that covers the cost of free shipping worldwide. What came out of this surprise thing was that the animated storyline within his newer videos was funded by these plushies. But since they're gone, if you're hankering for some merchandise, well, he doesn't have any. There is this guy in Society 6 who has a suspiciously close name and YouTube channel to Andrea. As I've mentioned previously in this video, coming into Andrea, I didn't expect his content to actually give, well, good advice considering his thumbnails.
Volunteer on small-scale indie projects, do free art commissions, connect with other artists, build your online presence little by little.
However, his Logan Paul series was a bit long-winded, and if I were to recommend an authentic Andrea experience, I would recommend some videos like The Other Side of the War on Tea series, and even How Shane Dawson Reinvented Collabs. However, the worst of the Jake Paul video bunch that he made, Jake Paul, the hero nobody asked for, which was basically just him watching a Jake Paul video and repeating something that someone said in the video and then going, ahaha. Huh.
Conspiracies and like justice law stuff.
It's okay, guys, we have Jake Paul here who loves justice law stuff. Maybe he's gonna do something about it.
One small thing that I like is that despite reusing assets, I mean, he's able to produce content pretty frequently. But on to a different good thing. From his earliest days to even now, he's actually had a big thing for helping small, growing, inspiring young artists. He used to just feature them in his videos, but recently in his Julian tablet review, he gave away 5 tablets to aspiring. He's a great example of someone rising up to where he is now, but also someone that knows he must give back to the community that helped him rise up.
I don't recognize the world around me. Rice Gum is beefing with Jake Paul. Who the fuck are these people and why should I care? Do you think it's too late now to put them in the thumbnail and get that sweet, sweet clickbait? It might be worth a try.
I guess I'm a little bit rusty with this review score thing, considering that I forgot to score most of these sections. But anyway, overall, I'd give Andrei Terbea an 8 out of 10. Mostly because his change over time is noticeable, and like me, he talks about how to improve and persevere in art. Back in 2017, I made a video about a YouTuber named Chili Panda, in which I said, her art is terrible. And if I was 22 like her, I think I'd just stop drawing and try a new hobby. I mean, maybe she's a great painter, or it would be a bit hypocritical of me to talk about improving yourself if I can't look back and apologize and improve myself. So for that comment, albeit nearly 2 years late, I'm sorry Chili Panda for telling you to stop drawing. But this video isn't about Chili Panda, it's about Andrei Terbea. So Andrea, what did you think of these critiques that I gave you?
I think it did an alright job, but it could have been—
We had an agreement that I talk in cameos and you only quack.
Alright then, Wilfer, what did you think of this video?
I thought it was underdeveloped, rushed, soulless, and tacky. I don't really feel like you gave it your all. Also, you talk too slow.
You're just a dumb bird. Who cares about your opinion? Speaking of dumb bird, in the spirit of his Julian giveaway and his art promotion, Andrea and I are doing an art contest where the top 3 winners each get an Amazon gift card for 50 USD. And I'm doing gift cards because I don't know how shipping and handling works. One of the many tablets you can buy for less than $50 is this Julian 420 tablet that I reviewed and costs about 20 USD. And the topic for this art contest is, if Wilfer left Andrea, which YouTuber would he befriend? And now that's quite a simple prompt right there, with the contest ending February 8th on a Friday, and the results will be shown in the next video, whenever that comes out. So if your contest entry tweeted at DaftPina and at Andrei Terbea with the caption, "Diss my art," and of course what you drew it with, in order to enter the contest. And so I look forward to seeing how this goes, so we can do more of these. Thank you for watching, and have a good.